So this is a hip hinge variation. So we're trying to move mostly through the hips, and our knees aren't going to be doing a ton of work here, but I want to keep them soft and unlocked. So I want to imagine like I've got a band pulling me backwards coming from here. So our actual hip joint is right here. The top of our pelvis, or the top of my pelvis, is all the way up here, but my hip joint is down here. So that's where I'm going to aim to move from today with this hip hinge. So I'm going to put this foam roller behind me. You can use a chair, you can be up against the wall, but it's going to be a reminder, because if I move through my knees instead of my hips, I won't touch the roller. So if I hinge through my hip and send my hips backwards, I'm going to touch the roller. And then I'm going to squeeze from here and send my hips forward to come up. If I start to go down instead of backwards, this is a squat, and I'm not going to touch that roller. So a squat is going to be a combination of coming from your knees and coming from your hips. With this movement, I want it to be mostly from our hips. So we're going to keep a nice flat back, long spine. We're going to bend our knees softly and send our hips back. Inhale here, exhale to come up. If you want something to kind of cue you, to remind you to keep your back flat, I like to use a stick, a broomstick or a hockey stick or lacrosse stick. So I've got 3 points touching it. I've got it touching the back of my head, my mid-back, and the top of my pelvis. So as soon as I start to lose one of these points, then I know that my back's no longer flat. So I'm going to try to maintain these 3 points on my stick, unlock my knees, shift back. Oh, my stick poked the foam roller. Send my hips back, and come back up. We want to be careful with this one that we're not going back to the point where our knees start to drift back. So we're going to keep that soft bend in our knees, and they're pretty much going to stay where they are and not move as we go through this range. So that is a hip hinge.